Welcome, everyone, to the PIPCAST 3000. We are a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about Fallout and gaming news and gaming stuff, and sometimes other mediums that relate to it, movies and shows and things. Sometimes we have a special guest on this bi-weekly podcast. But first, I'm Caedo Genesis. This is my co-host, BADCompanySarge.
Hi there.
And we are joined by Jared of Jar Red Gaming. Welcome, Jared.
Greetings. Hello.
Tell us and everybody about you. What do you do?
What do I do? That's a very good question. Well, I primarily just do a Let's Play channel on YouTube, primarily focusing on a lot of indie games, horror games. It seems to be what everyone really enjoys. But yeah, that's pretty much the short and sweet of it. I play video games and I try to have fun, and I try to get other people to have fun with me.
So you had a little surprising jump in subscribers recently.
I did.
You did. You want to talk about that a little bit?
No.
No.
No, yeah. So, gosh, I don't even. What is the date even in comparison? I want to say it was February when it happened. I just don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. But yeah.
Do you need me to go to Facebook and check?
Nah, I don't. I don't think the exact date is that important. I think the content of the of what happened is probably more important.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So sometime in February of this year, so this is very recently, I guess I should start back in December, because that's when I first played a very particular game, it's an indie horror game called Connection Haunted, where you're running around in a empty game lobby, or not a game lobby, but like a game multiplayer capture the flag map. It's like abandoned and weird stuff happens, and there was a secret ending that I had somehow stumbled upon and figured it out, and I put my video out there, and it got probably 50 views or something, and I'm just like, oh, that's just another video in the machine that is my channel. That February comes around, and I go to bed the night before with like 726 subscribers, just kind of doing what I do. Wake up the next day, see on my phone I got a message from someone, I don't even remember who it was from, and it was a Discord message saying, hey, your video was featured on a Markiplier video. And my first thought was, this is not a message directed towards me. This is not the kind of thing that would happen to me. And then I got up and I looked at my, I just went to my YouTube page on my phone or whatever. I was just curious to see how the last video had done and yada yada. And I'd seen that the subscriber count had gone up from 700 whatever to like 1,200 overnight. And I was just
a quick
like,
jump. Yeah.
Just a little quick jump. It's not like a crazy, amount, but
that first 1,000's important.
Yeah, well, I've been plateaued at like 700 for a while, and to see that happen, and then to just find out what had happened. Markiplier had played the game, had screwed up and didn't record finding the secret ending that I found. So instead of going back and playing it, he featured my video in my channel to people to go watch so that they could see that ending.
Oh, that's how it worked out.
That's how
cool.
it worked out. Yeah, it was, one in a million. There's probably 1,000 different small YouTuber videos of that game that could have been picked, but somehow mine was the lucky one. And
that's awesome, dude.
Now I'm up to almost 3,600. I've got a Discord now as well, which is growing, and lots of fun people and patrons. I've got patrons now, believe it or not.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been pretty exciting the last couple, month and a half, 2 months.
That's amazing, dude. Well, I hope it continues going well.
I do too.
It sounds like you rode the wave and then continued, doing what worked.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, that's Jared. If you guys want to check out his channel, subscribe to him, whichever you choose. It's going to be linked down below, along with all the other stuff that we're going to be talking about today. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a ton of stuff. But first and foremost is the elephant in the room, which is the coronavirus, or COVID-19, which is kind of causing a lot of countries to be put on hold. I want to share this message before anything else. We needed to acknowledge it, that it's a pandemic that has a lot of people worried, myself included. Down below in the description are links to the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization. Even if you yourself are not personally at risk, Your friends and family could be. If you have anybody elderly or with a compromised immune system that's close to you, they are at risk. So do yourself and your loved ones a favor and read up on it. The biggest weapon in our arsenal here is knowledge. Don't just rely on headlines and articles that dilute the information. That's exceptionally important, especially now with people panicking and buying up all the toilet paper and stuff like that. Like, nobody needs that much toilet paper, ever. So, yeah, just read up on it, is all I'm saying. Keep yourself safe, wash your hands, cover your coughs with your elbow. If you're going out in public, if you're in a quote-unquote infected area, keep a safe distance, a meter, which is about 3 feet from others. Check out the sources. It's important. I want to make sure you're all safe. Sarge, I think I went over the tip of the day, too. What are the topics we're going over?
In this PIPCAST, we will be talking about the Discord streaming update, E3 2020 being cancelled, Doom Eternal, Hades, a Fallout 76 themed interview with Pete Hines, who's a big Bethesda person, The Last of Us series, a Twitch streamer firing a gun, blap blap blap, Wasteland 3, Borderlands 3, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy 7, plus talking about weapons in Fallout. And for the comment of the cast, how much am I reading this all out?
You can pick and choose if you want, but it's a nice comment from a good person.
Okay, in which case I'm going to do a horrible imitation of Stilltown Eric's voice, and I apologise in advance, Eric, because I know you're listening to this, and this is not how you sound. So to start off with, I'm rolling a new character once Wastelanders releases, just so I can experience the difference between the new guy and my main guy. My main will be interesting. I wonder if any character in-game will respond to the point I'm addicted to chems and alcohol. I really want to investigate how deeply they added speech checks. The panel seems as they may have got a little overboard. Have the developers seen the community wanted speech checks and saturated the game with them? But is it too much? Or will it be right, and our checks are really tailored to our skills, perks, and levels, to really allow us to have the most customised experience possible? Edit. Coffee and rethink time. We see the waypoint is an instance case. Will we be able to access another home we can decorate which is instance inside? Think of Homeplate from Fallout 4 or my Megaton house in Fallout 3. Elder Scrolls Online does this for player homes. There we go. Once again, Eric, I'm sorry.
Okay, so context. We do a comment of the cast every 2 weeks now, every PIPcast. So if you want to be featured and have your comment read aloud, if you contribute to the topic that we're talking about, leave a comment. That's all, really. And this was referring to the ridiculous amount of Wastelanders information we got from the panel from PAX East. Thank you, Eric. Lovely contribution. And the edit.
I mean, it let me do 2 voices, so I'm very happy about that.
Right. And Eric is a patron of both of us, I think?
Yep.
Yeah. Also support us on Patreon. All 3 of us at the same time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's only going to cost you like $300 a month. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
come
a
on, they've
good
got to
price.
go for $100 each. They've got to be fair about this.
Yeah. We gotta oversell our abilities. All right. So what's this about this streaming update that's happening? That affects all 3 of us.
Yeah. So Discord posted a little thing to their Twitter. Do you want me to just read it all out? Because honestly,
Yeah.
it's all the information.
Go for it.
Okay. Man, I'm gonna have to come up with another voice.
You don't have to do a voice.
I always have to do a
You
voice.
can just read it.
Okay.
Okay.
In light of COVID-19, we're temporarily upping the Go Live streaming and screen share limit from 10 to 50 people for the next few months. We know a lot of you around the world are currently using Discord to keep in touch and perform daily tasks from keeping up with classes to working from home. We want to help make your world a little less stressful. We'll keep this limit up while it's most critically needed. Please have patience with us as performance issues may arise in streams with a large number of people. That is the whole quote that they had.
Cool.
And yeah, essentially it is just what it says. Discord, you can stream on certain Discords, and because so many places are like either quarantined or it's a case of we don't want you mixing in huge groups, which schools in particular are, but a lot of workplaces too, if you can stay at home, Discord's like, hey, you can just have kind of like a virtual classroom. And
Yep.
linking it back to Eric actually messaged me like the other day talking about the fact he was in like a kind of virtual classroom for one of his uni classes.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me too, actually.
Yeah. It's really cool that even though we are in the middle of a pandemic, technologically, we're at a point where people can still be connected and a lot of work and important stuff can still get done whilst in isolation. So,
Yeah.
good on Discord for just upping that given the circumstance.
Yeah. For generally being a good help. And also, like, I mean, Discord's one of the best kind of messaging softwares that I know of.
Yeah, Discord's great.
Along with the COVID like shutdowns and announcements and stuff like that, we had an official announcement. We had to wait a couple days for it, because like news organizations or journalists were all over it first, and I wasn't too quick to trust them. But E3 finally announced on their main site that I'll just quote this here: "Canceled due to growing concerns over COVID-19 virus. After careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made a difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th through 11th in Los Angeles." And at this point, it's just following along with what we've been told to do. Gatherings of 250 people or more are just getting canceled. So that's unfortunate, but it's understandable due to like the severity of.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, you always hear about these conferences or big conventions where people go to it, everyone's got like the cold or the flu when they leave, so kind of understandable that.
Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna say, like when people go to events, there's a thing. If you're a constant event goer, there's a thing called con crud, which a lot of people refer to it as, which is just generally getting sick after you're in proximity with so many people for an extended period of time, and it just happens. And now you have something that's new and deadly without a vaccine in the mix. So, best not to get that kind of crud. Understandable. I hope that it's an until further notice thing for a lot of the events that are later in the year, but things are kind of up in the air right now. So
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter every day I'm seeing multiple announcements of events being cancelled, big and
things
small.
are changing on the daily too. So
Yeah, but once again, a lot of this stuff can be done digitally now, and
Yep.
I'm sure the majority of us who kind of, well, I can only think of saying it as tune into E3, do so digitally, not on the stage floor or anything. So it'll be interesting to see what still happens around that time, because I'm sure plenty of companies will still have trailers and stuff to release. They just might be doing it on their own.
yeah, people will figure out a way to make it work if it's turning into like a whole everybody stays in as long as they possibly can. Hoping it doesn't come to that, so we can only prepare ourselves, I guess.
Were either of you planning on going to E3? I don't know if you guys are doing that or not.
No.
No.
I don't know. Like, I know for a while it was closed to the public, but now I think it's open. Obviously, at this moment, it's closed to everyone. But what I'm referring to is, had there been no pandemic and everything was going, would either of you have been going to the E3?
This might have been the year I had actually decided to, because my roommate, talked to me about it quite a bit, actually. Kite ends up being my manager sometimes, which I'm kind of okay with, because it gets me into the gear of actually doing something, that helps me, rather than just kind of doing what I do normally, which is stay indoors and not go outside.
Yes.
So it was actually one of those like, we need to actually do a vacation or something, like get out for a while and like not worry about stuff where we live, but obviously that can't happen this year.
Yep.
So we'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
But ideally it would be something like PAX or E3 or something like that.
I was just curious. I know E3 is kind of like it's kind of like the mecca for gaming. Cause I've been to PAX. I've been to PAX twice, but I've never been to E3, and I really want to at some point.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping.
Yeah.
'Cause I would definitely like to go. It'd be fun to actually see see the show floor and instead of just admiring it from a stream or whatever.
Exactly.
I stick to the streams myself.
Yeah.
Actually, I mentioned to Caedo like the other day, I saw a news article that Todd Howard's going to Brighton like next month or something, or is supposed to. And that's like, I think the closest city to me or something like that. And I was like, oh, he's over there. Not gonna go. It's like more than a 5-minute walk. Nah, not gonna worry about it.
Nah. Who needs to meet him anyways? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's fine. He speaks like once a year, and I hear it on the interwebs. That's good enough.
Yep. Speaking of recognizable Bethesda faces.
Yeah, I approve. Getting better at those segues.
Doom Guy is a recognizable face, and we have Doom Eternal coming out on March 20th. So we're gonna have something more to play from Bethesda. That's from probably, I dare say, one of the best developers under their umbrella, which is id Software, and Doom is their baby. So like, you know, it's gonna be good. They even took extra time to delay it. So. And it better be at this point. But I'm sure it's going to be good. If you're stoked for Doom Eternal, they also had a goofy trailer that go up to show off some of the Doomslayer skins that are available, and one of them is like a unicorn kind of. It's hilarious. And the trailer is down below if you're interested in looking at that. It gave me a good laugh. There's that. I guess I got to talk about the next one too. Have you played Hades, Jared?
I have not. No.
You should. I mean, it's not really in it's not really in your genre for
there's
like
far
content,
too
though.
many games in the world where it's you should.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have enough time to play all the awesome games that exist out there. No, you posted something about it on, I think, Discord a couple days ago when we were talking, and I'd seen it wherever it is. Is it on Steam?
It's on Steam and Epic. Yeah, it just came out on Steam recently.
I'd seen them, but I'd never heard of it.
So this was Supergiant's first like early access game and first like infinitely replayable game they had made too. They had made previous, but there was not as much incentive as there was with Hades because it's a roguelike. That's kind of how they work. You do a run, you gain something from that run, and then you die, and then you do it again. That's kind of the roguelike thing. You do a run to get a particular thing, you die, you do it again. That's kind of the loop of Hades, but it's done by Supergiant Games, one of the most amazing and influential indie developers probably in existence. I know I'm speaking highly of them, but that's more just how I feel about them because they just make art. That's their thing.
So they made Bastion.
Mm-hmm. They made Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre.
Pyre. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I thought the art style looked familiar.
Yeah. It's all Gen Z. That's her jam. She's and the composer, Darren Korb, has been doing the music for all the games, and it's amazing. Like you could just purchase the soundtrack for any of their games and jam out. Like that's the kind of high quality they produce all the time. But anyway, now I'm done kind of gushing about it. Their 99 update came out. I think it's every 2 months they do an update for Hades until it's complete, obviously, because it's early access. This time they added more to Nyx. This is you're Zagreus, the son of Hades. You're escaping the underworld. That's the whole plot. But Nyx is your surrogate mother, and she got kind of a rework. She now has a model. She has a look, and there's also been a new weapon introduced. I think it was the final, like 6th and final weapon, which is a pair of fists, which is my archetype in every game, if it's an option. And they are a lot of fun, but really, really difficult to work with so far. I haven't gotten a chance to play with them too much, but it's really, really enjoyable. If anybody's I would say if anybody's interested, at least give it a look. There's a trailer down below. If you like roguelikes at all, like Binding of Isaac or what's the other?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells. Thank you.
Boom.
Sarge.
Wasn't Souls, it was Cells. There we go.
Cells.
It's
Close enough. Yeah. Close enough.
That's another one I've not played. Dang it.
Yeah.
That's one I
But
wanted to play, though.
I mean, they could be a huge time sink too. Maybe you might be saving yourself, to be honest, because I have sunk many hours. Like I've sunk a ton of hours into Monster Hunter World, but I can bet you Hades is up there too for hundreds. So it's man, it's so much fun. So Sarge,
That's me.
speaking of fun things that we like talking about all the time,
Yeah.
right? It's
That was... Oh, sorry, I was expecting more to that segue.
really fun talking about all this drama.
Yeah, so... Okay, so the next thing, Pete Hines was interviewed by Greg Miller on Kind of Funny. They have like a little interview podcast thing called We Have Cool Friends. He was on there. The two know each other, and it was a fairly casual interview, but they talked a lot about just Bethesda in general, and there was a lot of talk about 76, because it's controversial online.
Of
By
course.
controversial, I mean it's popular to rag on it. So, yeah, there was an interview about that. I watched the interview earlier today, and it was pretty standard. It felt like Pete Hines was being fairly... I'm trying to think of the right word, but it felt like he was being transparent as he really could be from the business
As much
point.
as he could, yeah.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a case of him going, oh no, everything with Fallout 76 went perfectly. Look how amazing everything is doing. We're just going to ignore any negative stuff. It's very clear that they're all well aware of how much negative coverage it's got. But they're also like, one of the things he said, I can't remember the exact quote, it's not on here annoyingly, but he talked about wanting to listen to feedback from like people from the subreddit and people who actually play the game, and not worrying so much about tons of people online who have never played it
About
complaining.
YouTubers who sensationalize the issues.
Yeah, he'd rather get the complaints from people
Yeah.
who actually play the game, which makes sense. I mean, it's understandable. And as someone who plays the game every single day, my complaints are going to be a world different from someone who has never played the game. So, yeah, it seemed like a very solid interview till you scroll down a bit and see all the comments, which was painful. Like,
Yeah.
to be clear, you can criticize games. You do not have to like every game out there.
Oh, yeah.
You can not like companies. All of that stuff's fine. But just the severity that's always involved with 76 is crazy.
Oh, can I use an example? An example that happened recently, and
Go
you were
for
involved
it.
in Sarge?
Oh god.
You're probably going to know what I'm going to bring up.
Alright, let's do it.
So we have a 76 chat. A specific 76 chat in my server.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I specifically was telling myself before recording this, I better not bring this up, because that's Caedo's Discord. I won't.
Well, I'll
and
bring it up.
any
I'll
drama
do
in
us both a favor. How about this?
Okay.
So I want to say within minutes of this person joining my server, and if you're listening to this, you probably know who you are. I'm not going to call you out though. They went into the 76 chat and they were like, "Oh, this is a 76 server. It's a separate chat on the server," and they're assuming that it's the entirety of the server. But the 76 chat is set up to just for people who like play and want to interact with and about 76. I even have a bot present for like getting nuclear codes and stuff like that, because I tried to make sure that everybody who plays Fallout or has an interest in Fallout in any capacity has a spot on the server. And I decided to separate 76 from the general, because there's a lot more activity going on often with 76 than there is with the other Fallout games, as well as people like to talk crap on it. It's relatively easy to do, granted, but this person that joined decided to just vomit their whole opinion on how much 76 sucks in the 76 chat, and that's it. And then Sarge came in and I think you said something along the lines of, I don't even remember what you said.
Different players like different games for different reasons.
Yeah. And I think the moral of this, I want to try to make it as fast as possible, but the moral of this is you cannot like something and not go out of your way to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what that situation was.
I'm going to bring Jared into the conversation here, because
Cool.
I've taken a look at Jared's channel, and you play like a lot of indie horror games. Seems
do.
to be like your biggest overlap. Now, I'm not personally that huge a fan of indie games. I'm not that huge a fan of horror games. But I don't think I've ever once gone, oh my god, an indie horror game, that sucks. It's so bad. I can't believe people play this. It's like, if it's not something I'm interested in and I don't want to play, I'm just not going to play it.
You just don't.
That's as simple as it is.
So if I may, like, if you want to come on and leave a comment like that, you're totally cool doing that, though.
Yeah.
I won't delete it. I'll leave it and I'll say something like, "I appreciate you. I really do."
Yeah, outside of Discords, if you're on our channel, that's just engagement. Like,
Yeah.
just do that. It's fine. But like, when you specifically go into a community or like see a chain of comments that has nothing to do with anything you like doing, and you decide to tell people you don't like doing what they're doing, like that doesn't it doesn't matter. It's a waste of your time.
No, I will say just a very quick line on general commenter etiquette is, if you're going to leave a comment, think about it as in the case of you're talking to the creator and you're in a room alone with them in real life. Would you be willing to say to them what you put in that comment?
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, if it's something really bad, you're probably not going to say it in person.
Sarge and I were even talking about this morning, actually. At least a little bit. I had in our chat here, actually, because I was talking about replying to a couple of comments, some that I probably shouldn't have, and when I replied, they backpedaled super hard on what they said, and I was like, it doesn't make me feel good, really, that like either that I replied, but that they realized that there was another person on the other end that actually sees these things. I'm sorry if somebody is like used to being ignored for the nonsense that they put out there, but like there could be a situation where somebody sees that and decides not to respond to it, or does respond to it, and you have a chance to kind of redeem yourself, I guess. If you so choose. You can do whatever you want. It's the internet, apparently.
You can dig deeper. Just dig in a different direction. That works fine.
Like,
I like that.
I like how you have that image ready too, Sarge.
I'm looking at the comment I posted as a reply, where the short of it is someone said, "You're just doing this for money, posting every day various times." Which, first off, is factually incorrect. I don't post multiple videos a day. Have you got any idea how much work that would be?
Sarge doesn't have a team.
No. Why don't I have 20 people making one video per day? This is crazy. But then after that, I was just like, oh, well, that's not really the case, etc. And then they said, just don't fill your videos with verbiage anymore. Recently, you've been fitting too many words in them. Take it as constructive criticism. Which is just like, what? What is that on about? Oh my god. It's a comment that I think I will never forget.
We can relate this, like, not to the level, but like the things that Pete Hines, vice president of Bethesda, is dealing with.
Yeah.
I suppose, because he and pretty much everybody at Bethesda Publishing and developers have to sift through all that garbage that people post about their game and even them, which can definitely wear down people. He made it a point to remind people that he is a human being and has human being interests besides working for Bethesda. And that should be, we need to be reminded of that sometimes, I think. because usually when we talk about Pete Hines or Todd Howard or whatever, like, we're just referring to their profession, the things that they do when they're on camera or when they're, publishing something, not, the aspect that, is the human part.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
It's
important to remember.
People are like, these guys just make us games. They make our entertainment. They're not people.
Yeah.
But they are.
Yeah.
Anyone that I think of as like an on-screen personality or anything, you kind of have to mentally take a step to remember that when you're not looking at them, they still exist. Once the TV episode ends and the actors go home or something, they do go home. They have a life beyond there. Well,
yeah.
Just like in general, it seems people don't really have object permanence when it comes to famous figures, and I'm using that very much in quotation marks because just anyone known.
Right. So is there anything else we wanted to touch on? I know you talked a little bit about Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Doom Eternal, but Doom Eternal's already like almost here.
Yeah.
And we didn't get too much about Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. He did make a reference to there's something that is related to Doom, or that like maybe they, I don't remember his exact words.
It was the vaguest of vague references.
It's like you'll notice it kind of thing if you play Doom.
I mean, Deathloop, the trailer still sticks in my head, so it's got to be good. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
But
I hope so, dude. We don't know much about it yet, though. Just the trailer.
To be fair, I never heard of either one of them till recently. I'm probably the worst guest to have on here, guys. I've not played or heard of any of this stuff.
No, you're fine.
That's not your fault at all when it comes to Ghostwire Tokyo or Deathloop, because I'm pretty sure they've each had one trailer which was shown at E3, and that's been it.
Oh, okay.
And the person who was a big part of Ghostwire Tokyo moved to something else, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
What's her name? Ikumi something.
I don't know. It was a very happy Japanese lady.
Yes. She was the best presenter at the show.
Yeah.
It looks interesting, though.
Nakamura?
Definitely looks interesting. Ghostwire, I saw a little bit of it. The trailer, I mean.
Oh, dude, I nailed it. Ikumi Nakamura.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's tons of memes of her now. being all happy and joyous on stage. And she moved on to something else. I don't remember what that something else is. Yeah, so I'm hoping it's still good. She initiated it, but I don't know if she stuck around for the...
Well, to kind of link it slightly to what we previously said, as well as these people only existing with our minds on very specific things, individuals don't make the big AAA games. That's where you look into indie games. But there's a huge team always on like AAA stuff. So one person leaving, although still not like something to celebrate or anything, doesn't suddenly mean, oh no, the game's gone forever and it's going to be ruined and all future games are going to suck or whatever. There's a lot of people. It's a group effort. So
it's true.
Yeah, but no longer lead on a project is concerning. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hopefully she left it in capable hands. That's what I think is what we can hope for.
Yeah, and that's what I hope for too. Because that's all I want too from Bethesda as of right now is more new IPs. Ideally, without the creation engine. But that's just my own feeling on it. Are we ready to move on to the
we should probably move on at this point.
Okay, cool, awesome. What's a good? I need a good segue, Sarge.
You can't say, are we going to move on, and then not move on, and just leave it dead in the air. Are we going to move on was a segue. And now I can't remember what we said before, so it can't be segued from anything else. Either of you two played Last of Us?
I have.
No.
I have.
Sweet. Jared.
Yes.
All on you now.
My time to shine.
Go for it.
What?
Yeah.
What am I going? You want me to do the segue?
Yeah, I apologise. I'm just throwing you in the deep end, holding you under the water, hoping for the best.
Aside from big name game developers, I mean, I can attribute it to very similarly to the movie industry, which just so happens to be the subject of our next topic.
Yeah!
I think it just became Sarge's favorite guest.
Boom. If I had a mic, I'd drop it.
I mean, you do technically have a mic, but I fear that would ruin all the audio.
Please don't. Please don't drop it.
I'm not going to drop it.
It's probably
I
expensive.
take it back. I take it back.
Okay, so what's happening with this announcement thingy?
So,
All I know is that HBO is working on a Last of Us adaptation of a game that everybody loves. So that right there already has me slightly nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, how many video games to movies or TV shows outside of maybe The Witcher, which I thought was actually pretty good adaptation?
Oh, The Witcher's amazing.
I mean,
But that's more based on the book too.
That is definitely more on the book, with some aspects of the video game,
yeah.
thanks to what's his name, the main guy? I can't think of it.
Henry Cavill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, how many video game to movie TV show adaptations have ever been even remotely successul?
Only one comes to mind, and that's the Sonic movie, and that was decent.
If you were going to say
Serviceable.
Super Mario Brothers, I don't know. Man.
No.
I'll be honest, I'm thinking of Doom just non-stop right now, because I love
yeah.
that movie. But there's a
Well,
I
difference
never watched
between
it.
loving a movie and it actually being good.
Yeah.
The fact that they threw in the first person in that movie
Oh, I loved that.
was so freaking cool, because that
It's-
had never been done.
Yeah, there's like a movie that was all in first person, which I can't remember the name of right now. But there's only been like 2 movies I've seen like proper first person action as an extended segment. And
You mean like Hardcore Henry?
Hardcore Henry, that was the movie I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doom basically had a Hardcore Henry 4-minute clip or something like that. It was relatively long as well, and
Yeah.
it's a one take. I'm doing quotations, gotta remember the microphone can't see that. But yeah, it was all like one take in first person, as if it was first person shooter, after John Reaper, yeah, awesome name, just goes beast mode on a bunch of demons and stuff. It's a very fun movie, but it's not
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing with The Last of Us, but it's not really an IP you look for and think, oh, fun, happy times, yeah!
I mean, they went downhill pretty quickly, but I think the first Resident Evil film was pretty good too.
Yeah, the first one
Yeah.
wasn't bad, and you're right, it did go downhill
Yeah,
pretty quick.
It
from the
became
first
like survival thriller more so than the horror
Yeah.
element that they started with. And I can't remember which one I watched recently. It was one with all the Alice clones. It was so absurd.
Yeah, that's the thing, Resident Evil in and of itself is a slightly crazy and out there franchise,
Yeah.
one. It is.
but the films one-upped it for some reason.
It's like Resident and the Furious Evil or something like that.
I think I stopped watching the Resident Evil after the second one. I was just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
What
I
are they
think I
doing?
made it to the 3rd, but there's like 6 or something now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's tons. I think she had like a daughter who's probably a clone.
What?
I mean, I saw like 10 seconds of trailer, so I'm going to assume I know the entire plot.
Of
'cause-
course.
No, but
I already trust you.
yep.
There was a Need for Speed movie, which was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Was there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a few years back, I feel. Like,
It was just another car movie, though. Like, there was nothing...
It was Fast and Furious, but
well, that's the problem. Fast and Furious already had like multiple
They already
movies
had it,
and was an
yeah.
established
Yeah.
franchise at the point.
So this was just more of that,
they were,
really.
they were probably trying to, get a piece of that action. They're like, oh, Fast and Furious is super popular. Now we should make our Need for Speed movie.
Yeah, just like stick a no name to it and then see if it works.
See if it sticks.
Yeah,
It did not.
it didn't.
I've never even heard of it, so
Yeah.
not to say that if I haven't heard of it, it's not important or anything. I'm not trying.
I would recommend it, but yeah. So I think what we're all saying is this can go many different directions.
Yeah.
And we'll have to wait and see.
Well, the fact that it's HBO is somewhat hopeful because at least they have money behind them and they could make a decent budget, which I think is the biggest thing against video game to movie TV adaptations is lack of budget.
Yeah.
To make that come out of the game and into the silver screen, as you'd call it. So that's somewhat hopeful to me, but who knows?
One thing I am curious about is, Jared, you have played The Last of Us, whereas
Yes.
Caedo and I haven't, somehow, amazingly.
It's really good. It's really good.
I keep hearing that, but...
If you like that type
I know
of
it,
game.
but
Yeah.
it's one of the things that my roommate and I plan to do, or plan to play, while we're in the same room, but we just have other things to play.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
For context, on classic games everyone needs to play, I'm like halfway through Final Fantasy VII, so I'm like 20 years behind.
Oh, I'm there with you, actually.
But no, with this, would you rather it be basically just the video game, but in series form, or would you rather it divert a bit more, change things up? Do you want to see it still have the same characters and stuff, but not have it be, oh, this is just the game I played, but with people acting it out?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, though. Because I feel like every time, and again, like talking about just in the past, other adaptations, you always have the expectation that you want it to be like the game you've played, and I think that expectation is what kills a lot of the possibility of success.
That's other mediums to movie form too.
Yeah, it's
Not just
anything.
games.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as this goes, the story is so freaking good, and the characters are so well written that I feel like if they diverge from it, they're gonna lose the fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they just spin off it and use the name.
Yeah, that would kill it. I think instantly.
Yeah.
You would at least lose all the fans of the game, being part of that new fan base. I'm sure on its own it could probably create a new fan base, for television for people who don't play video games. But in large part, the group that exists that already, because the people that have played The Last of Us, as you know now, and have probably heard, like you said, from everyone, it's an amazing game. It's definitely top 10 for most people. So, and that's because it's, like I said, amazing story, amazing writing. The characters are likable, well written. It's really well put together. I think there could be some divergence. For the sake of, because television is a different medium than video games, so some artistic, whatever the term is, I can't think of
Liberties.
Yes, thank you. Can be taken, but I think if they diverge too much, I think it'll hurt it in the long run.
Giving more context that would have otherwise been given, like just playing the game.
Yeah,
Kind of thing. I wanted to speak of a bad example for a second. World War Z was like one of the biggest disappointments in a movie that I think I had ever had. Because this is one of the situations where I had actually read the book prior, and it was still so fresh in my mind so many years afterwards. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be amazing. But it was not at all. The movie sucked. It became it's Brad Pitt running from things simulator. And
that'd make a great indie game.
And cool. It already is. They have a World War Z game, and it uses the same. Yeah, it uses the same.
I was just thinking
of,
Brad Pitt running simulator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was
that'd be good
thinking
too.
of that same indie game, but where it's the parody version from South Park, where it's Cartman as Brad Pitt, just running away from things.
Again, zombies.
Yep.
Yeah. So the book World War Z was in kind of like a mockumentary format where you're reading like the stories of different characters who were surviving in the zombie apocalypse in different capacities. Like you have like a military person, a researcher, like the person who discovered, they were like a medic or a doctor or something like that, person who discovered like the first case. or one of the first cases. Like it's crazy. But the movie is just following this family trying to find a cure.
It
somehow fits into the
generic Hollywood. Oh, here's
generic
our
survival.
action hero guy who needs to save his family from
disaster
thing.
And the oh my goodness, the stupid thing where the woman got bit and they just chop her arm off, like that's gonna help.
Wait, that
it was
doesn't
so
work?
stupid. It was so dumb.
Oh man.
I think in the movie it supposedly worked, but it wasn't. There's no way. It's not how it works.
No.
It doesn't matter how fast you are. Anyway, Last of Us movie, we're hopeful, of course, but
Last of Us series announcement.
yeah.
So
Oh, is it supposed to
sorry,
be a
Last
TV
of Us series. Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I think you can do a lot more with a series than you can with a 2.5-hour movie. Trying to squeeze a lot of content into 2.5 hours. A series makes much more sense.
yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
we
2.5
should've kind
hours
of
is a
related
fairly
it.
long movie at that as well.
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've watched hour-long movies before, and then you're just really going plot point, done.
I should have kind of just left it at the Witcher comparison, because that's the closest to a actually good, something that we're kind of familiar with, because it is good.
Yeah. I binge watched it.
I'm probably gonna watch it again before the second season
I'm
comes
also
out.
considering watching it again, because it was really good.
Yeah,
But
highly recommend. Those of you who have Netflix, check out the Witcher series.
Definitely.
because I mean,
Check out.
obviously you want to be watching Netflix rather than going on Twitch and watching people fire live guns on stream for no good reason.
That's excellent. Go on, Sarge. What's the rest of the story? I'm
The rest of the story.
curious.
Curious? That was all I was going to say on this whole point. So, okay. So, Call of Duty streamer Carl Reimer? I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name.
might be Reimer, might be Reamer.
Yeah. I'm not going to say how I thought it was pronounced, because we can all guess, but yeah. Yeah, so he accidentally fired a handgun during a live stream on Twitch, and after that his Twitch account was suspended and was removed from his esports organisation, Saw Gaming. And, I mean, it's just kind of reckless use of firearms for no good reason.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a stupid thing to do. I didn't actually know that you couldn't fire guns on Twitch. I never really thought about it, to be honest. But apparently that's not something we're a big fan of.
I think it's more like an endangerment thing, because he didn't realize that it still had one in the chamber, and he was also drunk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I believe he was intoxicated.
Yeah,
That's
so he was
just-
just being an absolute idiot.
I'm looking at the clip right now, and he's got a can of like Coors Light right in front of him, and a slipper, of course.
And a slipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that proves he's drunk more than the alcohol does.
Is he drinking from the slipper? I
Oh
don't.
god,
He's not, but if you've got a slipper on your desk in front of you, it's not a big leap.
and look at
Yeah.
that thing. I mean, it's got one heck of a pattern. I can't tell if this picture's too small, but it's like looks like someone just puked on his shoe. It's not pretty, slipper.
Props to him at least for saying that, yeah, it's a stupid mistake. There's a quote from him where he said it was a stupid mistake, but it was a mistake that could have cost somebody their life. So he is at least... He's not being like, oh, what's everyone getting so concerned about? He is accepting of
He's
his
accepting
consequences.
responsibility.
Yeah, and being like,
that's good.
yeah, I deserve the bad stuff that's
Which
going
is
to happen
good, yeah.
because of this.
Yeah, and hopefully he won't. I don't know, drink and play with his gun
Yeah.
at the same time.
The clip is so kind of stupid as well, because he racks the slider? Is that? Yeah, I think that's the right term. But he does that like twice, whilst the magazine's still in the gun. And you see like the bullet come out, and then he's just like, BANG! And it fires, because of course it does. Because he didn't remove the magazine, then rack it, then you know the
Yeah,
bullet's not in there. Don't just go, oh, a bullet came out, must be empty.
And that says a lot, because you're UK, correct?
How did you tell?
I had an inkling feeling.
Oh.
But you don't have a whole lot of guns over there as far as I know, right?
No.
Not so much. But you already know more about gun safety than this guy does.
Yeah, to be fair, I have had, like, some experience with various weapons, including guns. I don't think I've ever fired a pistol, though. But it's very basic stuff, this. It's not like...
Yeah. This
it's
is
not
common
like
sense.
cleaning a gun perfectly or something. It's like, oh no, take the bullets out or else it will shoot.
Yes.
Well, it makes me wonder what's on the other side of the wall. Like, does he live in? Is this a home? Is this an apartment? Is this?
Yeah.
What's over there? Is his sister over there? Is his girlfriend over there? Is his kid over there? I don't know anything about this guy, so I don't know.
It said he murdered the hell out of a can of G Fuel, so I'm assuming that stopped the bullet most of the way.
There's a Twitter clip by at Cam834. That's CAM834. Has this little 30-second clip which shows him shooting the gun. And it does just explode the G Fuel.
Yeah.
And there's just a moment of shock as it happens. But yeah, it's
Maybe
worth
this
remembering that you can very easily have shot through the wall, and we don't know what's on the other side.
If you're interested, it's linked below. BTW. What's the moral of the story?
Don't play with weapons whilst drunk. Don't play with guns
are not
while
toys.
drunk.
Guns
Yes,
are not
that's a
toys,
good one.
and respect the firearm.
Don't
You
do
do
it
not
on
want to.
stream either. You're not a freaking gunsmith. Jeez, dude.
It's just all bad. Everything about that is just like,
Yeah.
you should. This is a perfect guide of what not to do if you're a Twitch streamer.
Yeah. And this is a... I don't want to sound like an old man, but I'm going to sound like an old man. Influencer culture is... This is an example of part of the problem with it.
Yeah.
Is the performer attitude and just doing whatever you feel like in front of people that you're broadcasting to, like an idiot. Don't. Just don't.
It makes the culture look bad.
Yeah.
When there's plenty of us who don't do stupid crap like that. So
I don't like the term influencer either, but it's it's being used, so whatever. But
people know what it is. So
yeah, making these stupid things into performances is like the worst thing you can do. Anyway, moving on to something that's not as violent in a live sense, but violent in a video game sense.
Yeah. A place where you can safely fire guns is
Yes.
video games.
Yes, very much. You're in a controlled environment. You can cause as much mayhem as you want, depending on the game. But Wasteland 3, this kind of only applies to people that have been a part of following Wasteland 3 and backing the project. Since Wasteland 2, In Exile has been doing extremely successfully after Wasteland 2 and its director's cut came out earlier in the decade. But Wasteland 3 is just about to release, so the backer beta is now available March 17th for $25 or higher backers on Fig. And I had to remind myself because it was so long ago that when I backed it, but apparently I'm in that little group of people. I don't know how big the group is actually. It's probably a pretty big group.
There's 3,000 a limit backer on the early bird digital copy of $25. And then standard digital copy is 7,964 backers.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of people.
Yep.
But yeah, the backer beta is going to be available. I might take that opportunity to learn things about Wasteland 3, so I could potentially make at least one video on it. So that's going to be nice to get ahead of the curve a little bit. Here's some news that we kind of alluded to last PIPCAST, right?
Yes, we mentioned it last time.
Borderlands 3 is now on Steam and 50% off.
Yeah,
So
making it nice and cheap. And I'll also add to that, 2K. There's a 2K sale in general on Steam right now, so a lot of their games are really cheap. So
nice.
Definitely check that out.
Awesome. I think that includes XCOM and XCOM 2 as well, right?
Yep, XCOM, Civilization, Duke Nukem Forever I saw on there.
Goodness.
They've got tons of games.
You can skip Duke Nukem Forever.
No, you have to play Duke Nukem Forever.
No!
Why would you want to play anything else?
If you're gonna play Duke Nukem, go classic and go with 3D. That's the best one. That will
Or
probably always be the best one.
go even more classic and play the original side scroller.
Ooh.
Dude, I played those and they were so good at the time.
They were.
Duke Nukem 2 was my jam, dude.
They were so, the music alone.
Yeah, so good. But that kind of dates us too, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I
That was
played
a
on
bit before my
DOS.
time.
Crap, they know we're old.
Yeah. But the Borderlands 3 being on Steam is just part of it too. It has crossplay with Epic users as well. So people that have had the game since launch are able to play with people that get it on Steam.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's really awesome too. Hopefully in the future it'll be all platforms, but as of right now it's just on PC and PC's launchers. But
It kind of annoys me that it's 50% off though, considering I paid full price for it.
Yeah.
this was a pretty decent sized wait though. This was like 6 months, 7 months.
It's been 6 months. I think
Yeah.
almost to the day or something. So that's half a year of playtime.
I can come up with at least a couple of games that dropped in price well before that. But they also weren't as good as Borderlands 3, so there's that too.
I will say, before I became a YouTuber, I never bought a game when it came out. Because
Yeah.
normally, just waiting
Same.
even like a month, you get like 20% off or something. And
Yeah.
if you like are a year or two delayed from all of the releases, you're buying them for like a fiver half the time, it seems. So it's if you're not all fussed about being a relevant gamer and just wants a game for fun, look at some of the games that came out a few years ago. Like, just do that instead.
For sure, dude. Or
Nice.
get specials or like bundles.
Yeah. My Steam library's just filled with bundles and stuff. 99% of the games I own I have not paid for or have paid like pennies per game. Speaking of games that came out a while ago that you can probably now get cheaper, Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC, where it will no doubt be full price because it's not on PC yet, but will be. But yeah, that PlayStation exclusive, which probably all you PlayStation people have played, is going to be on PC for all of us people who don't have a PlayStation. Yay! I'll be honest, if you couldn't tell, that was mock happiness because I'm not really interested in playing it, but it's good it's on PC.
It's one of the best titles on the PS4, alongside like Monster Hunter World is one of them too. I guess that's an easier comparison. Monster Hunter World came out on PS4 first, but there was always the intention of it coming out on PC. PC players just got it later, and I know at least a couple of people that have gotten it on both PC and PS4 just because it's that good. So it might be one of those scenarios because I already bought Horizon Zero Dawn for PS4 like 2 months ago, and Kite's been playing it a tiny bit, but I haven't played it myself at all.
Okay.
So
It's pretty cool. I bought it when it came out, but I admittedly have not played it that much since I bought it. Not because it's not good though. It's just one of those games that you really have to invest time into. It's open world, you're running around doing a lot of things. It's pretty cool though, and it coming to PC doesn't bother me. Did you guys hear about that guy who like destroyed his computer or something? He destroyed it on camera or something because he was so pissed off that his PlayStation exclusive was coming to PC. You guys haven't heard about that?
where's he been?
No.
I wish I'd known. I would have looked it up. Yeah, I don't know who it is. I don't remember where I saw it. But yeah, some.
Has he been doing this the whole time?
I mean, we know on this show that some people take any form of exclusivity very far, but even that's a bit much. Just destroying your own property.
Yeah. I don't know how he did it. I don't know if he took a bat to it or threw it off a balcony or whatever. I don't know the deets, but yeah, like that's just crazy.
That sounds funny.
And not to mention his computer. I mean, if he's a serious gamer, is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 rig probably in that range.
I mean, at the cheapest point, you're looking at $100, and that's not like just throwing away pennies. That is still a nasty chunk to lose, and that's if
Yeah.
you've got like the most basic Dell.
Yep. Which
Probably
wouldn't play it
isn't the
anyway.
case.
Right.
You'd have to put a video card in it that's like 3 times the cost. Hoping that it works.
Please, please,
Oh.
please. Yeah, just more examples of crazy people doing crazy things on. I think he did it on camera. It might have been a Twitch thing. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I mean, it could be the performer thing again. Like, that's always a
Maybe.
possibility. That's how McJuggernuggets got big. So,
I think this is just a case of a spoiled brat who is on Team PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
You know, seeing one of their beloved exclusives not just for them anymore, and then throwing a temper tantrum.
yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to, unfortunately.
I'm glad that the whole kind of console wars discourse has died down a lot over the years, but I did see something just a day or two ago with someone like being, yeah, this console is the best, screw other console. I can't even remember what one it was.
It sounds like
So-
Xbox.
Yeah, stupid Xbox people and say the console's better.
No, this guy's all like, Dreamcast Master Race. Don't you take this from me.
Gotta play my crazy taxi.
Yeah. I understand, like, why it happens, but, like, I don't really get into the tribalism part. I just have a preference, but it's not something I'm aggressive about. I know, I
Right.
know some people are... It extends to more than just consoles, but maybe it becomes sometimes the most ugly when it comes to, like, people discussing consoles, because it's an easy topic to bring up.
Yeah. Breaking news, everyone. People sometimes online get very angry over very small things.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
Internet!
Yeah.
Woo!
But I suppose we all do know that the PlayStation is the best and Xbox sucks, because
Yeah.
Xbox isn't getting the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo.
At least not yet.
No, I checked as well, because I was like, I just want to double check on the store that this demo isn't here. Because I have an Xbox One, and I was like, let's just see, because I'd like to see what this new remake is like, but no, it is just for PS4 people.
Yeah. My sister, when I talked to her on the phone, I talked about it a little bit too. She's like, "Is it coming to Xbox?" And I'm like, I have to check, but I don't think so. Not yet.
It's not.
But yeah, so the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo is available. If you have a PS4 and you haven't tried it, I would highly recommend it, because all it costs you is a little bit of a download, and you can play the first hour of the Final Fantasy VII Remake or so. And it's fun. I will say from personal experience that it's fun. It's almost I would say a perfect recreation of what the first bombing mission would be if it were recreated in a full 3D space. Like they what
All
Sarge.
I can think about is how different it is from the original Final Fantasy VII. Because I'm playing Final Fantasy VII and have been recently. I've actually stopped now, and I've seen like the fight in the reactor with like Guard Scorpion or whatever, and just how different everything is. They are worlds apart. But it is a case of Caedo as someone who loves Final Fantasy VII. It's like, your favourite game of all time is an amazing Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
etc., etc. It's like, obviously it's a case of that's kind of how you remember it being from your childhood in your imagination.
No, I've been playing it
Orvan.
also. The
Oh.
original.
Oh, you've been playing... Why have you been playing it again, Caedo? It sucks. Man,
'Cause I can.
this is terrible.
Also, what I'm more referring to, like they know how to like trigger nostalgia. Like they've been doing it for years already. So like they're not strangers to it. Square Enix isn't. So like they have remastered, rearranged versions of all the soundtrack and probably more to it. From what I remember, because I played it the original almost immediately afterwards.
Okay.
Like the train station that you walk into, it doesn't show that in the original game. Like the interior of the train station, it just has Cloud pop out on the other side. But the whole internal of the train station is there in the remake. So it's a lot more additive to like the angles that you now see, and they have the freedom to actually like mess around with that too, and give you more arenas to fight with a new ATB action crossover system that's now standard for the remake as well, which is going to take a little bit of getting used to. I don't feel one way or the other about it. Like, I do like flashy combat though, and it's all over the place there. So, but what I played I liked. So I'm hoping that the rest of the Final Fantasy VII remake, at least this first chapter or whatever they want to call it, is meaty and kind of respects the original as much as the first hour did.
Yeah.
While adding the extra context to certain things that they planned on doing, or broadening something without adding too many unnecessary characters, because Square Enix does that too. I played Kingdom Hearts. That was my biggest disappointment of last year, was Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh.
It's too much. And they added DLC to add the characters that were missing.
Oh.
The Final Fantasy characters that were completely cut out of the original game. It was so stupid.
That's the worst, when
I'm
they
so
add
infuriated.
DLC for stuff
Still.
that should have been there in the beginning.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this is the director's cut, but it's the ending you wanted. Like, no, get out of here. Sorry, that turned into a tangent.
Well, I've only played the original Final Fantasy a little bit, and I don't know if I'll play it, the remake, or not yet. But it does look really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, it looks beautiful. Like, I can see why it's taking them so long to make it.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, I have like this sort of like love-hate relationship with Final Fantasy as a series. Like, I really, really like the series, and I really like the storytelling and everything. I just have a hard time sitting down and playing it for too long for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I wish I wasn't this way. Because I really want to like them more and play them more. I get more enjoyment, I guess, maybe knowing about them and watching other people play, which is weird. But
Oh, yeah. My big thing is speedruns of them now.
Yeah. A huge chunk of it too is like the story and the narrative more so than the gameplay a lot of the time. Like, they're telling a story.
right.
And sometimes it's easier to passively experience that. Like, that was my first. I didn't have the means to get it at the time. I didn't have a PSP either. But I was super duper interested in Crisis Core because I wanted to know, the extra context of Zack's story in the Final Fantasy VII kind of overarching stuff. Even though I knew what the outcome was, because like, if you play Final Fantasy VII, you know. But I also heard that Crisis Core was the good Final Fantasy VII spinoff, and I was like, well, I guess I have to watch it now too. But I watched somebody do like a New Game Plus where they had already leveled up Zack, so he was just like chopping through everything with the Buster Sword and like getting through the actual story bits. And it was still a pretty sizable like Let's Play, but I didn't have the means at the time to play it. I did end up doing it later, but it's nice to have that option. Let's Players are nice. Let's Players are good. Is what I'm saying. Yes. So you can vicariously experience a game in less time as if you experienced it yourself.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I watched Let's Players before I became one, so...
Same. Still do.
I think most people do at this point.
Yeah. There's some I still really enjoy watching just because they're goofy.
Yeah.
Okay, so onward to Fallout stuff.
Yes.
We're
So-
almost an hour and a half.
I mean, we've probably cut out like 20-30 minutes of this, I feel.
Probably.
I mean, that's just for clap syncing alone.
I had a dog like howling out the window too for a
gosh.
little bit. That was fun. That was interesting. That's gonna be interesting to hear for those listening. I think.
I've been periodically muting my mic to chase my cat away from making noise.
Oh.
Just like I got, this is my first time doing this. Like, I don't want to screw this up. Quit fucking around with that bag.
Yeah. So our topic is weapons and weapon variety in Fallout, because there's a lot. If you include all the games, there's a lot to choose from and use, and some that are great, some that are amazing, some that are horrible, and some that are just average.
Well, that's every opinion covered.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everybody. I need to start the initial topic though, because I'm the classic guy, huh?
Yep.
I didn't really have a goal for this topic per se.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about our favorites for weapon types. Maybe
I'd
do
say
something that we
favorites and what kind of work best or stand out in any game.
Yeah, more so. In the classic Fallout games, there were a couple that stood out mainly as the mega power hitters. The alien blaster is usually like the, the I win gun. And it kind of has been for most of the Fallout games. But in Fallout 1 in particular, if you get the encounter with the crashed alien ship, like, you're just going to walk through the rest of the game. It's going to be a breeze. The only downside with the alien blaster is, like, it's really short range. It's probably one of the shortest range guns in the game. But it pretty much one-shots anything, especially if you crit. So, really overpowered, but it's reliant on your luck and outdoorsman skill, whether or not you find it at all. So, aside from that, if you're like a small guns user, because you had the small guns, big guns, energy weapons, thrown, melee, and unarmed skills in the classic games, the 223 pistol, also known as that gun in Fallout New Vegas, was the amazingly strong, high crit, low AP cost, like basically a handheld sniper, pretty much. It would carry you through most of the game, and I think the sniper rifle was one of the top tier ones as well. But if you go to Fallout 2, the variety opened up even more so, where, like, I would enjoy using the Power Fist in Fallout 1, but they had the Mega Power Fist, the Mega version of it, in Fallout 2, and you could punch through power armor with it, and it was very satisfying to watch the whole left side of their body explode when you punched
Also,
them.
with Fallout 2 as well, I feel like kind of melee and unarmed was more of a logical choice from the start, because you start off having to do the temple fight where you're not going to get guns and stuff. So the game kind of pushes you into being a close quarters combatant.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to plug my guide on it too, because I did do a guide on the Temple of Trials in Fallout 2, because it is the most
worst part
annoying
Fallout's ever had. The worst thing Fallout has ever done. Guaranteed. No arguments.
All right, wow.
It's not that bad, to be fair.
One of the worst tutorials, or tutorial levels, I should say, in the Fallout franchise.
Yeah. I
will say that, because it's just like, go. It's like click buttons. It doesn't really give you much hints or anything like that. Like, you just have to figure things out. But thankfully, I made a video on it, so if you're interested in starting up Fallout 1 or 2, I have a lot of guides on both, and a whole bunch of tips and tricks, which I do advise looking at, because it'll make your experience a lot easier. But yeah, back to weapons. Fallout 2 had the Bozar. That was the first appearance of the Bozar, and this gun was an accident when they made it. It was supposed to be kind of like the anti-material rifle in New Vegas. It was just supposed to be a giant anti-tank gun that was a single shot, but they accidentally made it automatic. So it was just a automatic armor-destroying sniper rifle. So it had incredible range. It had stupid great accuracy, and it was full auto. So if you had a Bozar at any point in Fallout 2, you were pretty much set as long as you had the ammo to throw into it. I'm pretty sure that it used pretty common ammo too. I think it might have been using 223, which is one of the easier to pick up. So yeah, you were godlike if you were able to pick up a Bozar, but there was only a few places you could get it. So I guess we should talk about the vehicles in Fallout Tactics as well. Those are technically weapons.
I mean, we're expanding the definition a bit there. We're going to go that way. Should talk about the Pridwin. Should talk about Liberty Prime. Should talk about nukes in 76. There's a lot of stuff you can get into.
Well, you could get a tank and actually load it with a shell and then shoot it at things. It was a little more challenging and expensive to do, and like you could just do drive-bys and those would be more efficient. Fallout Tactics was the only one where vehicles actually worked and you could use them on the field. So you could use your Hummer, for example, to run over a super mutant and just keep him pinned on the ground with your vehicle as your people in the vehicle were shooting him. So that was fun. If you watch my stream archives of the Fallout Tactics playthrough, you'll see me doing that pretty often if I have a vehicle. I ended up running the APC most of the time. It's slower, but a lot more armor. You need that later on. The tank is just absurdly slow and doesn't hold your entire squad, so I kind of left that at base, even though the cannon was enticing. But yeah, I think that's nothing really else springs to mind for like. There was plenty of weapon proficiencies and plenty of each type, especially by Fallout 2, that you had options. Because even the Ripper was decent when it came to. I'm trying to remember if there was a good like two-handed melee weapon. Grenades were insane. If you got to like San Fran and the encounters around there, like they all have plasma grenades. If you just kill a few of them, you can grenade your way through the rest of the game. It's pretty great. Yeah, you had options. So what's about the Fallout 3 there, Sarge?
Fallout 3, I feel like it had reasonable weapon variety, but to me, small guns always stand out as being, like, not necessarily the best in Fallout 3, but there are so many small guns. Everywhere you go, you find more small guns to repair your weapon, because your weapons break down in Fallout 3. Mm-hmm. And it was just a case of, if you want an easy time in Fallout 3, go for small guns.
Yeah. Oh, that's an important point to mention, too. Can I go back?
Go for it.
If you critically failed when you shot your weapon in Fallout 1 and 2, it would just explode sometimes. Yeah, so if you took the Jinx trait, like everybody had like a luck of 1. Like that's how that trait works. Everybody has a luck of 1. So everybody has the chance of their weapon just exploding in their hands. And that made it a heck of a lot more interesting for people. And if you were like melee oriented, you could cripple your own limbs by punching wrong or something. It's so great.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, instead, Fallout 3 went with the route that like everything has durability, but you can repair them. And onward from that. So continue.
Yeah. Well, the whole repairing thing did play heavily into which weapons you're likely to pick, because big guns and energy weapons were a lot more rare, especially early on in the game. Like, you'd come across a mutant or two with a missile launcher, maybe a Talon Company Merc, but it's not like you're going to be firing that thing forever. Whereas if you go for, like, a hunting rifle as your main weapon, you're finding them on every other corpse. Yeah. So, you're fine there. Explosives, I want to make a point about, because Fallout 3 was where it went kind of into the 3D world. Mm-hmm. And I feel like stuff like mines suddenly became great, because you could plant just tons of mines in Fallout 3 and just have fun with it. But grenades, I was always put off against, because you could either be holding your gun, or your melee weapon or whatever, or you could be holding a grenade. So, I know for me personally at least, I very rarely use like grenades and stuff as explosives, but I always use mines, because mines are amazing, grenades suck.
Yeah. Mines you could prepare for something, grenades you would, if you use it as an opener, you would have to switch to your main weapon shortly afterwards.
Yeah, and it's not like you can just spam grenades in most of the fights you come across in Fallout 3 either. It's like you're either in close-ish quarters, so you don't want to be blowing yourself up, or you're fighting against like large, vaguely spread out groups in the open, I feel like. So, grenades have their uses, but you did not want to rely on explosives as your main weapon type most of the time in Fallout 3.
Unless you become good friends with the outcasts, right?
Yeah.
You can get infinite grenades from them. It's great.
But you do have to go back to them.
I went back to them anyway for stim packs and stuff too.
Yeah, but what happens if you just want them all to die?
Well, then you don't get that deal.
Exactly.
The deal's off.
Yeah. No, but,
You killed the outcast, Sarge?
I never said I did. I wasn't going back to them. They had nice power armor. Wanted to make sure mine stayed in good nick. I can't really comment too much on melee and unarmed in Fallout 3, because I kind of have forgotten all about melee and unarmed in Fallout 3. Which makes me assume it's not particularly good.
It's okay.
Oh, that's not a confident okay.
For how because uniques weren't like super duper powerful. There were a couple, but they weren't insane. Like looks wise, like they had a little bit of a stat boost usually, but they weren't, too much better than, the standard versions of things. I remember Fisto and the Shocker both Power Fist variants. They were good. That like nothing insane, but like if you built your character that way, you'd be okay. But they definitely weren't the focus. Like the Ripper 2. The Ripper 2 was exceptional. But yeah, nothing to write home about, really.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose once again with Fallout 3 kind of becoming partly a first-person shooter as well, the actual effect of using a gun in a video game is always going to be more entertaining than walking up to someone, punching. It's like...
I will say the extra time spent on the VAT sequences, because they got shorter and shorter as the games went on, but the melee VAT sequences when you're detonating someone's head with any kind of blunt instrument is still very satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
And I think it's like below chest height or something like that. Like you're able to get a kick if you're using hand to hand. Oh yeah, also paralyzing palm is stupidly broken. Should mention that too. You can paralyze anything. Freaking behemoth? No, you're paralyzed.
Oh, which actually a weapon in Fallout 3, dart gun.
Oh, dude, yeah, that one's broken
obviously not one of like the core archetypes of weapons, but you get that and suddenly every single melee enemy in the game is just dead.
They can't.
That's it.
They can't get to you. Yeah, man. Yeah, the dart gun makes everything trivial or pretty close to it. Useful tool.
Yeah. Going back to unarmed though, I will say something I do really like about New Vegas is there seems to be like tons of unarmed options, and there's lots of really good ones.
Yeah.
That is like the one Fallout game that to me I think I'm ever tempted to play as an unarmed character.
Do you know how many there are? I can tell you how many there are.
32.
33. You were very close.
Oh! Man. I am amazed I got that close. I haven't played New Vegas in years, I feel like.
Yeah, they went ham with the amount of punchy weapons in Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And I say it in the countdown that I did, but I love it. I love how many choices there are. Did you have a weapon preference, Jared, in New Vegas that you recall?
Gosh, it's been so long since I played New Vegas. Although I say I probably enjoyed New Vegas the most of the series.
The whole audience likes you.
Yeah. They hate me, by the way. They hate me, but you are now.
It is now my time.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I'm thinking of New Vegas is just the freaking what was it? Was it called the cowboy rifle? It was like the lever action repeater.
Cowboy repeater.
Yeah, cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
I just enjoy that because I like Western stuff. Like Red Dead Redemption was one of my favorite games series. Now I guess
New Vegas is perfect for you then.
Yeah, so just rolling around in New Vegas with a freaking 10-gallon cowboy hat and a freaking cowboy repeat and shooter. I just like I tend to role play in my head when I'm playing these types of games. So just like it just fit perfectly with having the kind of the old western music on your Pip-Boy playing, and you just felt like a cowboy in a post-apocalyptic world. But yeah, I guess for lack of remembering the cowboy repeater or any of those type of weapons that have like the lever action was probably my favorite, just because it was fun to use. And and getting to actually do that in a game. Not too many games feature a freaking lever action repeating rifle type thing like that, so it was really,
and it's got its own
cool.
satisfying feedback too, like despite it being old at this point.
Somehow from probably being built in the 1800s, it's still it still works just fine in post-apocalyptic 20 whatever year the game takes place in. I can't remember.
Well, yeah, both the game being old and the guns, I'm assuming. I didn't know if you knew this, Jared, but I did a full Buckaroo playthrough of New Vegas.
I heard you mention it. I think when I can't remember what I watched. It might have been your recent unboxing video. I think you mentioned Buckaroo.
I think I finished that sometime last year. It does kind of all blur together after a little while.
Yeah.
But because that was like 120 something episodes or something. Like that was the longest Let's Play I'd ever done. But I was role playing a cowboy. That's what people voted for. I had 4 options. One of them was a pugilist type character. I was like, yes please, but like I had all these options that I would still want to play anyway. Everybody voted for the cowboy type, and I was like, all right, I gotta practice my southern accent. It's gonna be horrible, but here we go. So that's most of the dialogue in that game is me attempting a southern accent and trying to role play the character.
Nice.
And like it was a blast, dude, for sure. Not immediately, but I would go for a cowboy run again because it was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
And having the chance to do that in a Fallout game is rare. So
exactly.
Also, lever action shotgun didn't have a unique, and I'm upset.
Yeah, you're right. I think that I remember that being kind of a thing. It's like, why isn't there a freaking cool, unique named one of these? Like, I want that.
Yeah.
Need to be called like the Wyatt Earp or something like that.
I'm your Huckleberry, dude.
The Doc Holliday. That would be pretty sweet.
Tombstone's so good. Go watch Tombstone, everybody. It's amazing.
If you haven't,
amazing movie.
Even if you don't like westerns, go freaking watch that.
I'm saying that explicitly. I don't watch Western movies, but I love Tombstone.
It's so good.
It's on a different level. What were you gonna say, Sarge?
I was just gonna say on the whole themed thing. I just want to briefly mention about Fallout 4, the next game, that they added in pipe weapons, which I think theme-wise are great because it almost feels like the first post-apocalyptic gun that Fallout really gets. Because most of the time you're using guns which you're at least vaguely familiar of. You're like, this is an assault rifle. Oh, this is a 10mm pistol. Yes, this is a thing we all in the current day are kind of used to. But a gun made out of bits of pipe, plank of wood thrown in there, like a corkscrew just to stick your scope on. I really loved that about Fallout 4, and just the whole customizing of the pipe weapons.
Wait a minute, Sarge.
What?
Did you say something good about Fallout 4?
Yeah. I'm the person everyone needs to hate in the podcast. Why is this not clear yet?
Wait a gosh dang minute!
But also with Fallout 4, something they did differently to the previous games, obviously, was there were skills in the other games for your weapon types, whereas Fallout 4 went for perks with them, and the perks also kind of separated guns a lot more, so it wasn't like small guns, big guns, energy weapons, etc.
Yeah, way more, actually, after writing it down.
Yeah, it was like automatics in terms of rifles and pistols, semi-autos in terms of pistols and rifles, which suddenly gets you potentially 4 different things which previously would have been covered by just small guns, which is kind of crazy. But also means that you have an automatic laser pistol. Well, that's the same as an automatic 10mm pistol as far as the game's concerned.
Yeah.
So that whole variation changed a lot, and brief aside, don't worry, people, we're not going to carry on with this, but 76 actually did a tiny bit more by giving shotguns their own things, where shotguns were previously grouped with rifles in Fallout 4. So 76, you've got a lot of perk cards, and you need to specialise even more.
Yeah.
As one of the things that it does is not an RPG. Yeah. Yeah, I said it.
Oh.
I'm just going through the comment hate now, I'm sorry.
Did that hurt?
It's fine. No.
Sarge, you're the 76 guy, what are you doing?
No, I'm saying that as a positive point.
Oh, okay.
I'm mocking the people who are like, oh, it's nothing like an RPG.
Oh,
because
okay.
everyone's got different opinions of what
Oh, you
an RPG
sounded almost
actually
serious.
is. Oh, it's my damn British accent. Can't tell sarcasm apart. I'm just standing talking. Fallout 4, that was the game I was supposed to be talking about before I went in an angry tangent. Yeah, I think really I've said my piece on Fallout 4, because the pipe pistol's really cool. Personally, I love rifles in that game, but that's just because I'm a rifle user. I like being a sniper. But I know, Jared, you mentioned that you've actually played Fallout 4 within the past few years at least.
Yeah.
It's better than me.
I've played it and I've modded the hell out of it and played it again, and it's just like the other Fallouts. Like I play it for a bit, then I kind of stop playing it, and then
And then you wait, and then you start over.
And then a new one comes out, and I'm like, well, I'll play that now and see if it's any better.
Did you or do you gravitate towards any of the particular weapon types in Fallout 4?
I would have to agree with you. I typically go for rifles and sniper rifles and stuff like that, usually just because to me it feels like a balance thing. Like pistols are cool up to a point.
Yeah.
And then
except Deliverer.
Deliverer is great.
Deliverer is OP.
Quick shameless plug, I did a permanent survival mode playthrough with just the Deliverer as my only weapon.
Nice.
Because it is
Basically a
such a
cheat
good
gun.
gun. Yeah. So fucking good. Please carry on.
But yeah, I tend to gravitate towards the rifles and depending on how I'm playing. Sometimes I won't use a sniper rifle if I'm not being a sniper type playthrough. But yeah, I agree with you on that part for sure. Although I do like to have fun and go outside the comfort zone sometimes, like getting a Gatling gun or something, just be like, wow, this is not really that great, but it's kind of fun to use for a little bit. Or sometimes I like shotguns. I don't know. I like it. I like guns.
Yeah. I mean, a big point with Fallout 4 as well is obviously that's where the gunplay and gameplay mechanics were hugely improved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, such a step up. Like, being able to peek around corners, being able to sprint and then shoot your gun straight away, and...
it's so good.
It's like... a point I think even the people who don't like Fallout 4 and are like, oh, it should have been close to the original, I think everyone can agree that Fallout 4, at least in terms of physically controlling it, was pretty great.
Well, it seems like Bethesda has a really good track record of, like, every game new that they make improves on some things, and it kind of falls short on others, but then, like, in the next iteration, it's, like, more the same and whatnot. Like, it's always, like, they're constantly kind of learning.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, even though Fallout 4 isn't, like, everyone's favorite, like you said, the gunplay is really amazing, and hopefully that will carry on into the next game, and the shortcomings won't. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, well, it did kind of carry over to Fallout 76. So...
Yeah.
But
I have not played 76.
But because 76 is a spin-off, there may be a difference in changes from Fallout 4
just
to
the general
Starfield.
Working out what to stick with and what doesn't. Something 76 is doing, which we mentioned last time, is adding back like dialogue boxes. Rather than the Fallout 4, you have 4 options to choose from in every conversation thing.
Yeah.
Which is at least a positive sign of change in the right direction.
Yep.
Which is nice to see. Back to weapons though. Melee and unarmed in Fallout 4.
They're okay.
Caedo does that. That's about it.
Yeah.
Unarmed in particular. I want to moan a little bit about Unarmed in Fallout 4. Because I think I started being a YouTuber, or started up my channel, not that long before Nuka World was set to release. So one of my earliest videos was like talking about, or I made a couple of builds that were going to lead into Nuka World, and I was like, I'm going to make these for like the weapons I think are going to show up in Nuka World. And I was like, well, there's not many unarmed weapons, so clearly they're going to add in all the extra unarmed weapons with Nuka World. Not a single one. And that's a big point it falls short.
Yeah.
Because there's Knuckles, Power Fist, Deathclaw Gauntlet, and
That's pretty much it.
I feel like there's got to be at least 4. Come on, game. But yeah, Power Armor,
boxing gloves.
Boxing Glove. There we go.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
nobody uses those.
I mean, nobody uses Knuckles either. It's Power Fist or
No,
Deathclaw
I did.
Gauntlet.
I used Knuckles for at least the first couple levels.
I mean, just go and kill Swan. Just run straight over to Swan. Throw some mines
At
down.
level 4?
I killed him just the other day in survival mode. At like
Wow.
level 12 or something.
Look at you.
Which I'll get
killing
onto later.
Swan.
I'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Just so everybody
I feel
knows,
like-
Swan drops a guaranteed furious power. It didn't even get its own name, by the way.
No. That's another discussion.
Yeah.
Which, haven't we already had that, like, uniques versus legendaries?
So many times.
I don't know if we've ever done it in the PIPCAST.
I know I did with Tony on many occasions. Because, that
Sorry.
was closer to Fallout 4 also.
I'll complain about it much louder.
It was me and
angrier than
Camel
Tony would.
complaining like over and over and over about it. Because he was running into the same thing.
I've got the numbers in the latest game to back up how terrible the legendary system is. Like, I'm gonna have to say it. When I worked it out, the number is likely lower. But in Fallout 76, there's like 326,000 different legendary items or something, which is too many.
Way too many.
It's a lot.
Because it's
Yeah.
not Borderlands.
No. And the guns aren't actually that much different and stuff. It's just different base models with a half dozen different effects on each legendary. Oh god, I hate the legendary system being a thing. Needs to be a different separate topic though. Back to Fallout 4. Explosives, I want to mention as well. And apologies, I'm hogging this a bit, but the fact that you can now throw grenades whilst having a gun.
That's
Mwah.
why I typed it really quick.
Yeah, I saw you typing that in the outline. But god, that just suddenly made me use explosives in a Fallout game, like, and properly focus on them for the first time. Because previously, I did not want to be the guy who shouldered my hunting rifle to pull out a single frag grenade and throw it. It's like, but just being able to be like, oh yeah, I grabbed the grenade from my belt, obviously, and then just chuck it at the group that are stuck behind a wall. That makes, it's so good.
Yep.
Just makes sense.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that aspect as well. One of the things, man, it's easy to complain about Fallout 4 in some aspects. Just, I love what was done with power armor. I love that it's an actual, like, suit that you get into. Like, I consider that a massive improvement.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
you can't use unarmed weapons in power armor.
No, but power armor does at least have modifications to the arms to increase unarmed damage.
Yeah, but
So it
you
becomes
have to,
its own unarmed weapon.
yeah, but you have to really, really pump your skill and perks and probably use chems to actually be able to deal the amount of damage that you would be with a power fist instead.
Yeah. Personally, I'm of the mind that there should be, like, separate power armor based weapons you can pick up.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe
Like
even like
mountable.
modifications.
Yeah.
Like an extender for the power fist maybe is a mod you need to be able to craft to attach it to your power armor. I don't know, something like that I'd like.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I know this is a long stretch, but like Frank Horgan in Fallout 2, he had like a blade that would just materialize on his right arm. Or left arm. It was one of his arms, and he would just stab you with it. Like, I'd be down for something like that. Even if it didn't materialize, like I'm down.
Maybe it comes out like, Wolverine hand, or
Yeah.
it
make it
comes
something
out
like
of the
that.
arm or something. I think that would be cool.
Some kind of retractable
Yeah.
blades.
Did either of you ever play any of the new Deus Ex games?
Yes.
When you upgrade, you can get the freaking blades that come out of you and stuff like that. If it was kind of like that for the power armor, if maybe the power armor had its own level system, kind of like Skyrim with werewolves and vampires has their own level tree, maybe have something like
that
that
would be
for power armor.
See, I was thinking as well, because with the various weapons and stuff, I was thinking like Warhammer 40k, like dreadnoughts and stuff, which are like basically just big mechs, and they sometimes have like underslung flamethrowers or stuff. There's a lot you could do with power armor in Fallout to make
Yeah.
it so much better.
And this was just the start too. Like I know there's
Right.
going to be improvements down the line too. But dude, you mentioned like a separate leveling system too. Like maybe that's maybe that's what would have been the cherry on top for Fallout 4 if they had gone a little bit further with the power armor. Because
Well, maybe it's kind of like what we were talking about. It's like maybe this will be the power armor will be the thing that carries on to the next, and then
Yeah.
they'll add improvements to that. And
Yeah.
maybe the developers will listen to some of us who have opinions.
they do
Like-
sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, listen.
But-
problem is, there's millions of us who have opinions
No,
about
yeah, I know.
Fallout games.
I was saying,
There's
like,
too many
you know,
of us.
if
Unfortunately.
I don't know if anyone's mentioned a separate level up tree for power armor. I'm sure someone has. There's nothing new under the sun, as they say. So
Yeah. Dude, one of-
hopefully that gets to them and they do it because that sounds cool.
Yeah. Going back to the Fallout 4 like weapons and stuff like that, the dedicated explosive throwing button made things awesome. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but if you throw a grenade and immediately go into vats, you can shoot it.
Yes.
I feel like I probably knew that, but
Yeah. So you
I
can
know that more so because I do it accidentally in Fallout 76 all the time. Because in 76, things don't slow down when you go
No,
into
they
bats. So it's so easy just because you're having to react so quickly. You just throw a grenade and instantly bat shoot it right in front of your face.
That's funny. Oh man. Did you capture that at all?
I've got like hundreds of hours of 76 content on my channel. There are
Okay.
going to be multiple occasions of me blowing up. Actually, I even remember one where the server was like lagging. I threw a grenade and it just hung in the air in front of me and then blew up and killed me. So there's multiple times of me dying to grenades in 76.
Why don't you make highlights, man? Come on.
Oh,
Come on. Just a little.
I don't have the footage anymore. I'd have to record it off of YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't save my footage. Anyway, have we got anything else about weapons of Fallout to say? Because I've just seen a little news story on Twitter from 33 minutes ago, Fallout related.
Oh,
do tell.
no. I'm good.
Okay, so I'm a terrible PIPCAST host, and during that last bit I couldn't help but click on Twitter and see what the news was. I apologise. Fortunately though, I follow Saved You a Click Video Games at Saved You a Click V, who I highly recommend, because they basically save you a click and tell you what news articles are going about. But WWG had an article about a new Fallout mobile game revealed, and according to Save You a Click, it's just Fallout Shelter Online. So Fallout Shelter we already know about, but apparently there's going to be an online thingy. Release date unknown, but slated for April 22nd release on the Philippines App Store. So, yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if that was going to be something they mention at E3. Like, hey, Fallout Shelter now has online functionality. But yeah, that's a little... That lets you know how kind that this was definitely recorded recently as well. Look at that.
Is that the equivalent of holding up a newspaper with the date on it?
Yeah. Breaking news. But,
Here's your proof. Yeah.
yep.
Interesting.
just saying.
Yep.
I've not been a major player of Fallout Shelter. Like I tried it, but it's not in the genre that is my thing. But
I enjoyed it when I had a smartphone, but for PC play, it's like, nah. As a free mobile game, I had a lot of fun with it. But
yeah.
Yeah, I played it a lot when it first came out, but I lost interest in it pretty quickly. I haven't really returned to even some of the stuff they added over the time is kind of cool, but it's a mobile game.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to get what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a mobile game, it's very good.
Yeah.
For video games in general, it's much lower down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're better if you're on your PC. You're better just playing unless you can't afford any of the other Fallout games, which are some of them are dirt cheap right now. It's free. You can play it wherever basically. But I made an active effort to not install games to my phone because I spend most of my time in front of my computer anyway. So why would I do that to myself?
And I literally got rid of my phone when I realised I was spending all of my time in front of a computer.
Yeah. So,
Unfortunately for me, I don't get to spend as much time in front of my computer as I would like because I can't afford to do it full time yet.
Yeah.
So I still have to go to work. So I spend a lot of time in front of my phone,
Yep.
reading comments and replying and stuff like that. So, but strangely enough, in kind of the same arc, like I don't spend a lot of time playing games on my phone because I'm spending so much time doing stuff on my phone that I would normally be doing in front of my computer if I was at home, which is like YouTube related stuff. So
yeah,
it's
YouTube Studio
kind
app.
of the same.
The YouTube Studio app, I will say, is very good.
Oh yeah.
When I used it
it's
2
not
years
bad.
ago.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it for being like, I can upload a video, and if I don't set it to schedule or whatever, I can. If I'm at work, I can be like, oh, I forgot to put the video public, which has never happened.
Yeah.
And you can actually do that from the phone, which
Yeah.
I think is actually really cool
And,
from a YouTuber perspective.
Yeah, and interact with comments and stuff like that when you're like literally anywhere else.
Yep.
It's definitely got its uses for sure. Analytics too, real nice and
Yeah.
simplified on the phone.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed with that aspect.
It's not bad. And you can even edit the video, not the content, but like the description and the thumbnail
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You can edit all of that from your phone. That's pretty cool. I don't do that very often, if at all ever, but if
it's
you
there.
need to change something on the fly and you're not at home on your computer, boom, you got the ability to do it. So
I'm pretty sure a lot of my early videos, I just like set them as a scheduled upload just before I had to catch a bus. And then, like, when I was waiting for my shift to start, I'd just be filling in descriptions and titles and whatever.
yep.
Might as well. Yeah. But seeing as we are talking about YouTube non-stop, let's do the little segue thing. Jared!
Oh.
What have you been working on and playing?
Oh my. Well,
Everything.
you know, it's really hard to specifically nail down what I'm playing, because in the indie game world, there's always something different, because there's so many indie developers, and some of them are one person,
Yeah.
you know, in their basement, or, you know, working on a school project or whatever. But I suppose the game that I've been playing recently, that I've been doing kind of a series on, is a game called World of Horror, and it's kind of a retro 1-bit pen and paper RPG that sets place in Japan with some paranormal X-Files type stuff going on. It's actually really freaking cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very old style though, so you have to really appreciate like kind of the retro styling type stuff, which I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I just do a mix mash of. There's a website called itch.io, however you want to say it, and it's pretty much just sort of like Steam for indie developers, where they can put their games out there and you can download them. Most of them are free.
Oh, okay.
Most of them are like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I tend to focus on horror because that seems to be what people like, and I relatively enjoy horror. I'm a big coward when it comes to horror games, though, so that makes it even more entertaining.
That's always good. Oh man. So we're recording this on Saturday the 14th. Obviously, yesterday was Friday the 13th, so I posted like the few horror-themed videos I had on my community tab, and there is actually one video of me playing a horror game for the first time, and it is just kind of a worse because I don't react to any horror stuff. I'm just like, oh, someone just got dismembered. I wonder what's down the next hallway. But yeah, I know a lot of people are into like the when something pops up scary, which...
Right, but there's a fine balance between and over dramatized
Oh yeah, if you throw off your headset, do 10 laps of a room, and stand on your chair or something, that's when you go too far.
Crap. I hate it so much. Like my biggest thing for my channel is like I want people to feel like they're playing the game with me, you know? So like I'm not over dramatic. I'm literally just reacting the same way that if I wasn't recording.
Yeah.
So when I scream, and I don't really scream that much, but if I make any kind of sound of being scared, it's legitimate.
Yeah.
It's just me playing a game. Sometimes I forget I'm even recording, and half the time I forget the things I say until I'm editing it.
Oh yeah.
We can only stay focused on one thing at a time, and
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's not what we're saying.
Yeah, well, it's a fine balance juggle between commentary,
Yeah.
what you're playing, is everything recording properly, am I being entertaining or am I boring, or
How much of this do I cut out?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely I continue to learn, and I enjoy almost every aspect of YouTubing, like recording and playing and even editing. And I'll be editing a video and I'm just laughing at the crap that I say. I'm like, I don't even remember saying that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the secret too, dude. Like, you gotta pretty much find enjoyment in all aspects to actually want to keep doing it. So I wanted to double check, Jared, you've been doing it for a while. How long? It's been like a year.
In June will be 2 years.
2 years. Ooh, nice, dude.
Yeah, and I've been, for the most part, there's been some periods of time where I didn't upload as frequently, but for the most part, every day.
Wow.
It's a lot of
Weekends included.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think you mentioned it actually again in your unboxing, your play button unboxing, is that let's play videos is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such an oversaturated market on YouTube, especially with video games, obviously. But
you should clarify, like, it's hard to get somewhere with it, not necessarily to make it, because it's super easy to make.
They're probably the easiest to make, and probably that's why there's so many people that do it, because it requires probably the least amount of effort, honestly.
it's one of a few. Yeah, vlogging's really easy too if you're comfortable in front of the camera. That's the stepping. That's the the point of being uncomfortable. And once you're comfortable with the camera, like, you just say random bullcrap to a camera and upload it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely interesting progress.
Yeah. But I really do hope for the best for you, dude. For real.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And do you have any, because you're mainly still doing like indie horror let's play type stuff, did you have anything otherwise that you plan on doing that's a little different from the let's play stuff?
I definitely am planning on starting to do some like live streaming stuff. I feel like that's the natural next step. I haven't really done live streaming. I've done a few test type things earlier on, just to see how the system worked and how to navigate and everything like that, but I've never really actually had a legitimate live stream with an audience and stuff like that. So I definitely want to start doing more live streams and eventually do them like on a regular basis. And now that people are actually watching videos, I would probably like to start tackling more mainstream games, not just indie games. The reason why I've been focused on indie games a lot is because they're unique and different. But I do like other stuff. And a lot of the community are like, they want me to play more popular games and more trending games as well. So it's like, cool, you guys want to, I want to, let's make it happen. Yeah. So the next big game I think that I definitely want to play is Ghost of Tsushima, I think is pronounced.
Tsushima? Yeah.
That just looks freaking amazing. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just more live stream, more big titles, but more of the same, honestly. Like, everything that I'm getting from the community is that they like what I'm doing, keep doing what I'm doing. So, I feel like I'm in a pretty good place to really start growing, hopefully.
That's good. We'll say on the subject of live streaming, I did my final Fallout 4 live stream last weekend.
And I missed it!
Same kind of time. You did. I'll never forgive you, Caedo. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Sarge.
I kind of said goodbye to Fallout 4 survival mode because I did like a little playthrough. It's now like a 23 hour playlist on my channel of just like my character going through. And because I knew it was a final episode, we kind of went and did all the crazy dangerous stuff I wouldn't want to do in Fallout 4 survival mode, where when you die, you go back to the last time you slept. So I normally play it quite cautiously, but in that live stream, I cleared out Green Tech Genetics? Wait, no, what's the name of the chemical lab?
Ah, frick.
I cleared out the chemical lab with all the crazy gunners. I killed Swan. I fought like tons of raiders, and then because I somehow managed to survive all of that, and really shouldn't have. I then went into Diamond City and just kind of like randomly started shooting people.
Awesome.
Yeah, I did that. A stream Caedo did get to see was I'm trying to do 2 streams a week until Wastelanders releases. So for like throughout this month I want to do 2 streams a week. However, on Wednesday I managed to get 10 minutes into a stream and then my internet just died for half an hour.
It was having a hard time.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Super chatted.
Yeah, literally the last thing I saw before the stream completely died on my end was Caedo sent like, it's like, oh, Caedo Genesis just sent a super chat. Boom, everything gone.
Oh no.
So you're saying it's my fault?
It's not your fault. To be fair, like the VOD that gets uploaded after the live stream was 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's like how much of a stream YouTube actually managed to properly get in. And during some of that, there's even a couple of crackles. But providing my internet doesn't... My internet went from like 0.2 upload was like the highest it was hitting after I kind of got my internet back online at all. And then like an hour or two later, it went up to like 20. So, like 100 times more. I don't know what was up with my internet that day.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I'll be doing Wednesday and Sunday live streams for a few weeks. That will be more than 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, that'll be nice.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing tons of 76, because I'm pretty much exclusively playing 76 on the channel now. Because...
Wastelanders!
Yeah, Wastelanders is coming out. I'm also, like, at 24,500 subscribers. And something I want to do for 25k subs is a 25-hour live stream. Which I think would be lots of fun. Really big kind of event. Given the current situations of stuff as well. Could be kind of nice for anyone who's kind of quarantined.
Yeah.
And doesn't know what to do. It's like, oh cool,
Sure.
I can just go over to Sarge. He'll be there the entire day.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm concerned about is my sub growth kind of puts me on track to hit 25k subs around the time Wastelanders launches and I'm the most busy. So I'm like, do I want to really push the sub boat out and like try and hit 25k subs the week before, or delay it a bit and tell people not to subscribe and hit it a few weeks later? But
You could make it like a 30-hour stream.
oh no, I can't. I cannot do 30 hours. That's a bit much. Like 25 hours will be
25
more than
is
taxing
the
for
sweet
me,
spot,
I think.
and then
Yeah.
beyond that is a big risk.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good if I went more than that.
Okay.
But no, I'd really like to do that. So you know what? Do subscribe to my channel, because a video I put up like last week got me like a few hundred subscribers or something, which just suddenly put me back on track for hitting 25k subs soon. So I'm just panicking about my sub count in like a good way and a bad way at the same time.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
if you're planning
funny.
on playing Wastelanders, everybody, sub to Sarge, because he's gonna be covering the crap out of it.
Oh yes, that is when I'll be doing 30 hours a week once Wastelanders releases.
Yeah.
But on the few times I haven't been playing 76, I have been having fun in Civilization 5. Because that's a nice, chill, relaxing game, I find, for me. Where I'm like the most passive-aggressive world leader, it turns out. And my recent strategy has been to take just a vertical line of land across the middle of the map and refuse anyone access over my borders. So every single player is not allowed to walk through my territory without it being an act of war.
That's meta.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's so much fun. I just
That's
started up a
great.
new playthrough where I've taken over like an entire island nation, and the other 2 civilizations can't interact with each other, and I'm a terrible person, but
That's
it's just
awesome.
a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever played as Gandhi, as the new Cappy Gandhi? Have you heard about that?
I've heard about a lot of stuff like that. Whenever I've encountered Gandhi, it's been fine. But
Yeah.
for me, it was Alexander the Great. Always tries to start combat with me. And he's always so poorly equipped. Like, I will have stealth bombers, and he's still using knights. And it's like, what are you doing? Then he just keeps attacking me. I destroy one of his cities. He goes, let's go for peace. Then he attacks me again. I destroy another city. And eventually he just gets wiped out. But
So
God,
you're
it's-
telling me that Alexander the Great sends some cavalry over to your airfield.
Yeah.
They
He's
stab
always
your
like
planes
multiple eras behind.
in declaration of war. and you carpet bomb them, and he's still stubborn.
Yeah, it's until I've destroyed every single thing. And then right at the end, he's always like, worthy opponent you were.
Why is this? It sounds like the Black Knight from Monty Python.
It sounds exactly
Pretty
like
much
that.
exactly it.
Oh my goodness.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, that's why I love Survive. It's a great game.
It's great scenarios too. Like, man, I remember that being a huge time sink too.
Oh yeah.
Just one quick campaign, and then it's like 30 hours.
Civ 5 is arguably the best, in my opinion, of the series. At least recently. I don't know if you've played 6.
I have not played 6.
I can't remember what my go-to was. I'm pretty sure it might have been Civ 4 actually.
6 is the latest one, right? I'm not screwing this up, am I?
I'm pretty sure 6 is the latest.
I have no idea.
Also on sale. Worth pointing out.
There's probably a reason why it's on sale. It just wasn't very good.
I mean, it's part of a 2K thing as well, which I think is, it's part of a 2K publisher sale. So on Steam right now, Civ 6 Platinum Edition with all of the stuff is £41, which is so helpful for all the American audience. But yeah, it's... I'm trying to find just the basic thing. Oh, it's still selling for more than Civ 5 with all the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're
Civ
still
5 is really
updating
good.
it and adding new stuff to it and stuff. I mean, maybe it's better than last time I played, but I don't know. I bought it when it first came out, and I just wasn't that impressed. Like, but it's also kind of you guys ever play The Sims?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like, you get the one like Sims with all the expansions, and then the next game comes out and it has none of that.
Yeah.
And you're like, this isn't as good as it was because it doesn't have any of that, but it's still a new. Civ 6 kind of remind me of that. It's like Civ 5, I had all the different expansions and add-ons, and then Civ 6 comes out, doesn't have any of that, just feels kind of lackluster, maybe.
Yeah. I do feel like they're games which you only really need to play one in the series, and then you can kind of stick with that for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause even stuff like Call of Duty at least has, like, there's much more importance to, like, graphical and gunplay and all of that kind of stuff. But when you're literally just clicking on individual pieces of your screen, all of that kind of stuff doesn't matter as much. So,
Yeah.
probably makes it hard to shift extra copies, I suppose.
It's like the different iterations of Madden.
Yeah.
Like, really, how much different is Madden 2020 compared to Madden, 2001?
Oh
Not
man,
that much.
But those sports games just have so many people that will buy them regardless.
I wanted to say
I
Angry
know.
Joe did a bit on. I want to say one of the recent Madden games, or it was FIFA or something like that.
FIFA's huge.
And it was
Yeah.
so recycled that they had like last year banners still like in the stands.
Yep.
Like it was so bad.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But-
Not cool.
Anyway, going back to the civilization thing, I just would like Firaxis to make XCOM 3. I'm down with that, please.
Well, Caedo, have you been playing any XCOM recently? Or have you been doing some other stuff?
Other stuff. Good segue. Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I've been playing that a lot with many different people, and we've been taking full advantage of the events that were available during this holiday thing, the event quests, I should say. I got most of the things that I wanted out of it. So now it's more waiting for more like new monster updates and stuff like that, because they're not done. They're never done, it seems like. We just had Stygian Zinogre become a thing. He's like a giant lightning wolf, but this variant does a different type of damage and has a lot more fast moves. Little variations in enemies, and of course a whole new armor set that goes along with it too, which is awesome. So prepping it to at least have enough pieces to make something out of that. And what I've also been playing is Final Fantasy VII. We talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
I had the initial plan to like maybe do a like kind of a let's play beforehand, but that would take way too long
Yeah.
before the remake actually comes out, unless I dedicated my entire next month to finish it. Like I could pound through the game pretty quickly, but like I want to get Omnislash in on disc 1, and to do that you got to spend a lot of time. But what I did intend on doing, I hope nobody's stealing my notes when I say this, when the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out, that's only pretty much Midgar, and the rest of the game is still yet to come out. And I'm pretty sure fans, if they like the remake, they're going to try to go back and play the original. So my line of thinking is, what if I made some modern guides for new fans? So I might do that.
Yeah, smart move.
Cool.
So that's something I've been kind of working on as I play. Thankfully, the PC version of Final Fantasy VII has so many freaking slots that you can save entire chunks of different areas. Like Midgar is going to be the first slot, and then like world map to Nibelheim is going to be like the second slot. There's going to be so much room for saves, so I can basically get whatever footage I need for different topics too. And then I was booting up Fallout New Vegas off and on lately to start working on the 10 best armors in Fallout New Vegas, because I think it's about time for an armor countdown, because it's more than one person requested that, and because those have been extremely successful in the guide sense for my channel, I think the Fallout 4 armor guide is still like number 3 or something like that in my top of all time videos, because nobody else did it. That's the main thing. Nobody else bothers with armor besides me, apparently. So the New Vegas best armor thing is the next planned thing. I was trying to figure out a way to get, because showing off weapons is easy. It's just VAT sequences and killing stuff. But showing off armor is a little more complex, because you're not killing things, you're more protecting your character or just showing off how it looks and then reading off the stats. So I had to make something that was like still engaging to look at without being annoying to record. I initially tried like camera panning with like free camera in like TFC 1, which freezes the game so you can pan around your character if you want to, like Matrix style. But I was like, and also with the current controller I have, it's hard to throttle it. So
Can I offer a suggestion?
yes, even though I already
in Fallout 4 you can build like a runway and do like a supermodel runway.
If I get to Fallout 4 with these, I'm probably going to do that. But Fallout 4 also has dummies that can model your stuff for you too, which I'd used in the Fallout 4 guide. But what I ended up doing was just doing the walk animation, because you can kind of control the third person camera with the F button. So you can move it like in front of your character and have them walk by hitting the auto walk button. So I have a front view, a rear view, and like a 45 degree that I'm going to be using, and then just walking basically. And I think that's going to be, nobody who's listening to the podcast really cares about the technicalities of it.
I care.
I care.
But
we're listening.
I figured you two would be like interested to know like what I landed on for for how to present something without being boring as heck.
I mean, my actual immediate thought was, I hope you're using slow down SGTM and slowing down the speeds of characters and walking in slow motion at the same time.
0.5.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
You know
exactly where you're coming from.
You know, Sarge.
Man.
And because it's recorded at 60 FPS, I can drop that down further if I need to. So it's fine. It works. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what we've been doing. I want to say first thank you to Jared of Jared for coming on to the podcast and hanging out and talking about nerdy things.
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Don't want to speak for Sarge or anything like that, but you're welcome to come back whenever you want, dude.
Absolutely. I had a blast. This was a lot of fun and a lot less nerve-wracking than I thought it was gonna be.
I
just had a mental lapse for a second where I thought Caedo was saying I can come back whenever I want. I was like, wait, am I being kicked off a show?
Jared, you're hired.
Man, I know you supported New Vegas and stuff, but I'd like to stick around.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
But yeah. I was gonna ask Sarge if do you want to do the outro thingy?
Well, everyone, we've had a lovely time together, but as all things must, this has come to an end. If you want to subscribe to any of our channels, there'll be links in the description. We have Patreon pages, we've got Twitter, we've got all the standard stuff, so feel free to follow them if you wish. Once again, we just want to thank you all for listening. Goodbye.
That was full on
Damn.
sexy Sarge. What are you doing?
Damn.
Sorry.